Reality isn't real. What you consider reality right now, your current circumstances, that's not real. It's simply an echo of your past. Your current reality is just a shadow of your past identity, your past beliefs, your past emotions, and your past personality. The only way to change reality is to change the identity that created it. Trying to change circumstances, trying to change the things that you don't like around you is like battling smoke instead of putting out the real fire, which is your identity. How do we change identity? I think all identity change starts from a desire, like a true desire that you have, and that desire to live a different life, to experience something new, to become a different kind of person, takes you on this journey towards your desired new reality. And we call this journey manifestation. We can call it reality creation. We can call it goal setting. We can call it whatever you want. But the process is the same. And it always starts with a true desire. And a true desire is something that you know you would want even if nobody knows about it. Even if you got it and nobody clapped at the end, even if nobody even knew that you got it. It's just a true desire is something that you feel in your heart that you want deeply and is super important to you, and it doesn't come from because you weren't influenced by others. You're not pursuing this because it'll make you look good. You're not pursuing this to boost your resume. You're not pursuing this to you're just pursuing it because it's something that's truly important to you. And if it took you 10 years to achieve this desire, it would still be 10 years well spent. That's how I know that I'm pursuing a true desire that belongs to me. So all reality creation and all manifestation starts with a true desire and ends with the new reality in which you get to experience that desire. That process we call manifestation. Let's say in this example, it can be called many things, but we're going to refer to that process as manifestation. And in order to get from desire to the new reality, there's about 10 steps that need to happen. The second step after desire is cultivating the feeling of the wish fulfilled, cultivating the feeling of what it would feel like to have your desire and living in that feeling, with that feeling as your dominant feeling, that feeling is going to become your dominant reality. And there's many ways to achieve this. These all work. They're all techniques and they all work. And you can achieve this by visualizing your desire before bed. You can do it by meditating. You can do it by affirming. There's a million different ways to get to that point where you feel what it would feel like to have your desire and you live in that feeling throughout the day. And that usually leads to a chain reaction that creates a new identity, a new way of behaving, a new way of thinking, a new way of acting, and then eventually all of those things together create the new personality and the new experienced reality in which you get your desire. Unfortunately for us, 99.9% of the manifestation content online is focused on the techniques that you have to do to get to the feeling of, to like be able to cultivate the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That's 99% of what's out there. Why is that? Because that's where the money is, right? Like, I could sell you a manifestation package. I can sell you an affirmation package. I could sell you a meditation package, but I can't sell you a new identity. I can't sell you a new way of thinking, a new way of feeling, and a new way of behaving, right? Like, I can't sell you that. I can't sell you a new personality, and I can't sell you a new personal reality. All I can sell you are the techniques that will eventually get you in the state of the wish fulfilled. And I think that's a shame, because if that's all you focus on and if that's all you hear about, then you're going to mistakenly believe that all manifestation is these techniques. Like, you do these techniques and then you get your result, but they're missing the rest of the loop. Like, nobody talks about the rest of the loop. Nobody talks about the new the new identity. Nobody talks about the new thoughts that you're going to have on this process once you start the chain reaction. Nobody talks about the new ways of feeling that you're going to experience. Nobody talks about the new behaviors that you're going to have, the new personality. Nobody talks about these things. Everybody just talks about the techniques that will get you to feeling the wish fulfilled. And I think that's a real shame, because I think that's why so many people struggle with manifestation, is because they're only sold a very small piece of the puzzle, and then they're left to figure it out on their own. And that's been like a real bummer, because when you are in between the old identity and the new identity, and you're struggling and you're spiraling because you can't relate to your old ways of thinking anymore, but like the new way of thinking and your new identity isn't fully installed yet, I think that trips a lot of people up, and there's not a lot of information online about this. And I think that's a real shame that we're letting people try to figure this process out on their own. And so today I also wanted to talk about these techniques that are going to help you to get to the state of the wish fulfilled. And so I think that the question that a lot of people are asking themselves is, are these techniques enough? Or do I still need to take action? Is imagination and sitting in the wish fulfilled enough? Or do I still need to take action towards the goal? And I think that the most important action that you can take during this process is whatever action will get you to stay in that feeling of the wish fulfilled throughout most of the day, or like all of the day, ideally. Like whatever gets you to that state, that's the bulk of the action that you need to take. So if that's through meditation and through affirming, great. If that's through like visualizing it before bed, great. If that's through a combination of these techniques, great. If it's through working out and through like taking care of yourself and taking care of your body and looking good, great. Like whatever action that you need to take to get you to like live with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, that's most of the work that you're gonna have to do. And I think that in and of itself is going to take you 99.9% to the finish line, because that feeling of the wish fulfilled that you visualize before you go to bed, and you feel it in your body so strongly that you feel like that's real, that's really where the magic happens. Like that's most of the work. And then the work continues like the next day when you open up your eyes and you try to get back to that feeling. And then an hour later you try to get back to that feeling. And then you try again, and you like, that's most of the work that you have to do to get your desire. And then that's going to start the chain reaction of new identity, new thoughts, new emotions, new personality, new experienced reality in which you get your desire. That's going to start the chain reaction. And sure, like towards the end, there might be one or two things that you have to do practically, but if you've already been living in the state of the wish fulfilled, those practical action steps that you need to take are going to feel so easy and so effortless to you that it's not even going to feel like action at all. And so I do think that cultivating the feeling of having your desire is going to take you 99% of the way there. I think that's most of the work that you have to do. And I think that if you can live in that state throughout the day, that will solve 99.9% of your problems, and is going to start the chain reaction of like new identity, new behaviors, new personality, new experienced reality. And so if this topic was interesting to you, then I think that you would really like my new book that I published recently. It's called Mastering the Middle. And in this book, I talk about exactly what we talked about today, but in greater detail. I refer to this gap between having a desire and receiving that desire as the middle. And the middle is not a passive time. The middle is not a time where you sit around and you hope that your manifestation is going to fall in your lap. The middle is a very active time of our lives where there's a lot going on internally, and a lot of the work is done in the unseen. And so I think this book is a great guide for people that are on the journey towards their new desire reality. And I think it's a great way for people to learn about the practical things that happen when you're in between your desire and between your desire and the new reality in which you have your desire. And so if that sounds interesting to you, then I will leave a link for my book in the description box below. And thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.